Volunteers and homeowners spent Thursday cleaning the mud out of about 50 homes here in Marble Falls, and this is what it looks like. Feet of mud covering properties that once used to be only grass. Several people have had to throw away everything they own, and many tell us their homes will have to be gutted in order to prevent mold from growing inside. The voices of thousands of people rang out nationwide as protesters urged the government to reunite hundreds of children separated from their parents at the U.S.-Mexico border. Corpus Christi is under a voluntary evacuation order. It was not mandatory here. The mayor has said he thinks that that was the right call, but he is proud that most people living in those low-lying areas did head west before this storm kicked in. They do now have a pattern of exploding packages showing up at homes in East Austin. Hundreds of contractors have been working hard to help with cleanup efforts since Hurricane Harvey roared ashore, with wind speeds reaching over 140 miles per hour. Texas was still a long ways away from approving any kind of medical cannabis. Authorities just reopened the street here at Don Song Drive, and a neighbor tells us this is where that bomb went off. If you take a look behind me, you can see the indent that this explosion left in the dirt here. That neighbor says he found the two male victims laying just beside the device that was sitting there, and he saw a tripwire stretched across the sidewalk attached to a sign that said, "Drive like your children live here."
We are clearly dealing with what we expect to be a serial bomber at this point.
The latest crime scene, Don Song Drive. The latest victims, a 23-year-old man and a 22-year-old man. Both of them suffered significant injuries but are expected to survive.
We need this to stop. We are very concerned that people can get hurt by this just by walking now.
Austin Police Interim Chief Brian Manley says Sunday night's bomb was triggered when the two victims walked into a tripwire.
The belief that we are now dealing with someone who's using tripwires shows a higher level of sophistication, a higher level of skill.
Although more sophisticated, Manley says there are similarities to 3 other bombs that injured or killed victims in East Austin this month. Those devices were inside of packages placed on doorsteps. Knowing now that the latest explosion didn't target any specific person and could have hurt anyone who walked by, has the Travis Country area on high alert.
You're a lot more aware of everything, so any packages that come to the door or any place that you're walking around here, you're just going to be real sensitive to it.
That's why neighbors say the Travis Country Homeowners Association is encouraging them to look out for one another.
That will be the good that comes out of it. People will be watching each other's back a lot more.
That's exactly what Manley hopes people across the city will do until police are able to find the person responsible.
This has to be a community response. This is something we're going to solve as a community.
Police are asking neighbors in Travis Country with any kind of video surveillance to please share that with them. Officers are also asking people everywhere to call 911 if they find any kind of suspicious package, backpack, or any other out-of-place item that may contain a bomb. 1,254 miles. That's how much land in Texas the Border Patrol must secure every single day.
Yes, McAllen Station, where we're going, is actually the busiest area in the whole country for illegal entries, and I can take you to the exact spot where they come in.
During fiscal year 2016, which ended September 30th, Border Patrol agents in the Rio Grande Valley sector apprehended about 500 undocumented immigrants per day.
It's been like a group, and then maybe 5 minutes later, another group, and then half an hour later, you'll see another one.
Within minutes of driving down this private road along the Rio Grande River, we pull up to a woman and child who just crossed illegally into the United States.
So I have one female with a young child.
Border Patrol agent Marlene Castro believes they're stragglers from a larger group apprehended just down the road. But that's not the story she's given.
She came alone. She paid 100 pesos just to cross the river. Everything else she did on her own, which I doubt it.
Nellie says she and her 1-year-old son Joshua were assaulted by gang members in Honduras. That's why they decided to make the dangerous trek to the United States. Their journey funded by Nellie's brother, who she says lives in Denver. Just on the other side of this river is Mexico, and a lot of families coming from Central America are paying smugglers in Mexico to help them get across the Rio Grande on a raft. But these families tell us they're not coming here to hide from Border Patrol in the United States. In fact, they want to get caught.
We're gonna go down to that hot spot where they all come in.
It's about a 5-minute hike through heavy brush to the riverbank. Trails formed by the thousands of people coming through each week make the trip easy to navigate.
He'll be sitting there with the raft and people are gathering, and as soon as he has enough people, he'll bring them across, go back, wait for another group and bring them across. We're not a deterrent because they're looking for us. So we can be standing there and he'll still send them across.
Border Patrol agents know people with criminal histories can cross here just as quickly.
It's easy in the sense that they can just stand there, sit there, wait till they don't see us in the area and come across.
In fact, it's not uncommon for agents to arrest someone they've arrested before.
They come in, you arrest them, you deport them. They come in again, you catch them, you arrest them, deport them. And they keep coming back.
After they're loaded into transport vans, they're taken here, a temporary holding facility in McAllen. 740 people are currently staying in this building, 214 of them children who crossed by themselves. Here they have access to food, water, bathrooms, toiletries, and a safe place to sleep. It's already a better way of life than the one they left behind.
He said the gangs in El Salvador are running not just the neighborhoods, but the city and the police department, that he found out that even the police officers are asking for asylum. And he said, if the police officers are scared, what chance do we have?
But the price they paid to get here is hard to forget.
He said that the journey is very dangerous. There's lots of risks involved. And I asked him if there were any incidents or something that he wanted to talk about. He goes, I was separated from my wife. He doesn't know where she is. We don't know how many have come through, and I can't even begin to give you an estimate or a more or less. We know we don't catch everything.
It's a problem that isn't going away.
We all need to come together and find a solution. There is a solution somewhere, but we all have to be able to sit down and talk.
Until they find the answer, Border Patrol agents will be driving up and down the 1,254-mile stretch of the Texas-Mexico border.
Ma'am, I have three minors.
Putting their lives on the line to keep criminals out and save the thousands who risked it all to find a better life in the United States. In McAllen, Jennifer Kendall, Fox 7 News.